So what is big law exactly? And it's a fair question because it's what most of us think of when we think of the glitzy, glamorous, high-powered lawyer life after law school. And yet most of us don't really know what that looks like in real life. And so I wanted to walk through the three need-to-knows when it comes to big law, namely what it is, how much you work, and how much you get paid so that you guys can start thinking about whether it would be a good fit for you and something you'd like to pursue. So if you're ready to dive in, smash that subscribe button and let's go. So simply put, big law is a generic term for, as you may have guessed, the biggest law firms in the United States. But there is no one set definition of what makes a law firm big law. Some people define that by the number of attorneys at the firm, and other people define that by the annual gross revenue, or both. But when we're talking about big law, think hundreds, if not thousands, of attorneys in multiple offices across the US and possibly other countries that are serving big corporate clients, think Fortune 500 companies, that have a lockstep associate structure, so junior associates, mid-level associates, senior associates, and that bill out at hundreds, if not thousands of dollars per hour. And so a quick point of reference is the Am Law 100, which is the list of the 100 highest grossing firms in the United States. Now, the reason you may have heard about big law is because big law is infamous for two things: how much they require their associates to work and how much they pay. So when we're talking about how much a big law associate works, we're usually talking about 2,000 to 2,200 billable hours per year, which I know means nothing to no one. It's really hard to have context for what a 2,200 billable hour year looks like until you're in it. So let's break it down. So let's assume that you're a first-year big law associate and you're required to bill 2,200 hours per year. Let's also assume that you take 2 weeks of vacation, so you're working for 50 weeks of that year, which means that you need to bill 44 hours per week, which doesn't sound too bad. But keep in mind that every hour you're in the office, you are not doing legal work that is billable to a client. And so if you have a solid, consistent workflow, you can generally expect to bill about 7 hours for every 10 hours you're in the office, which means that you're actually working 60 hours per week to get to those 44 billable hours, which means that you're actually in the office longer than 10 hours a day, or you go home and log back onto your laptop for an hour or two at night, or you pick up chunks of time on the weekends. So this is Angela from the future coming back because I think we forgot to talk about an important piece, which is why in the world are we billing 7 hours and we're in the office for 10 or more hours a day? And the reason is because not every hour you're in the office, you're going to be doing work that is billable to a client. Some of that time is going to be personal time. So that's you taking lunch or talking to a fellow associate, or maybe making a call to a doctor or an insurance company. Some of that time may be non-billable law firm work. So maybe you're helping a partner write a law review article or can develop a CLE, or maybe you're sitting in on associate meeting or summer associate recruiting. But the biggest chunk of non-billable time is actually looking for work because the workflow in a law firm is not constant. It definitely ebbs and flows. And so during the busy times, yeah, you can walk in the office and bill your hours for the day, no problem. But when work starts to slow down or when you have recently ended a case or a deal, you're going to be actively looking for work. You're going to be actively reaching out to senior associates and partners to see if you can get staff on a new case or a new deal. And that is not as easy as it may sound. And so it can actually be quite stressful when you have fewer billable hours than you need, because by default, that means you're going to have to make up those billable hours in another week or another month. So it always feels better to be a little bit too busy than not busy enough. On the flip side, when work is really heavy, you're expected to be available 24/7 if needed. And that can be midnight, Saturday afternoon, Christmas Eve, the wedding weekend for your sister, that trip to Italy you've been planning for 6 months. So it can really wear and tear on people. So you might ask yourself, why would anyone agree to a work environment like that? And the answer is because big law pays more than any other job on the market. First-year associates just starting out are making $215,000 per year, plus a $15,000 bonus for a total of $230,000 at an entry-level position with next to no legal training. And for a lot of law school graduates, that is a trade-off that they feel is well worth it for working themselves to the bone, especially since they're used to working at that level for the past 3 years of law school. By comparison, the majority of new law school graduates will make between $50,000 and $90,000 at their first legal job, which is 20 to 40% of what a big law position can offer. Add on the prestige of big law and the promise of exit opportunities, it can make it really difficult to turn down a big law offer, even if that's not the lifestyle you had in mind when you started law school. So that's what big law is and why, despite its grueling demands, it's so attractive to so many new lawyers. So let me know in the comments below, yes, no, maybe, is big law something you'd be interested in pursuing? And if you want to take it one step further, definitely check out the What Type of Lawyer Should I Be quiz, because it's going to give you an insight into the practice area that would be the best fit for you. I'll link that in the description below as well. All right, guys, that's it for this one, and I will see you in the next one.